these cameras just adjusted here. Wow, I can't talk already, guys. So excited to be here. Let's wait for a couple people to come online. Just getting my cards prepared here for the card pull. Today is a good day. Hello, thank you for joining. Welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to call this out right now. To those of you who are regular watchers of this, you probably noticed that I look a little bit different than normal. And reason being, two reasons. One, it's the Leo full moon. You gotta do it up. That's one. And two, I just got an amazing astrological chart reading from AmberRose Stahl, otherwise known as Mama. Hey, Michelle, thanks for coming on. And she gave me some homework after the reading to tap more into my fire side after seeing so much water in my chart. And this is something that I've talked about on past lives, about about the ability to balance yourself out by looking at the elements that are in your chart. But the homework that she gave me was so unexpected because it was so much more of a human way to do it. You know, the fire homework I tend to give clients and whatnot, or workshop attendees, things like that, people like that, not things. When we're talking about balancing out the chart and looking at fire, I talk a lot about, you know, sitting in front of a fireplace or lighting a candle and sitting with the flame every night. You know, working with some fiery stones like fire opal or carnelian, things like that, where you're tapping into fire through the actual element, maybe doing some breath work that actually heats up your body, things like that, drinking hot tea, eating spicy foods. But the thing that she gave me was wear some bold lipstick. And so that is what I am doing today on this Leo full moon. I'm showing up, I'm here, and I'm wearing the fire on my face. So that is why I'm showing up super dressed up today. So I just wanted to cue you guys into that so you weren't like, what happened to Rachel? I'm just doing my homework, that's all. And I'm loving every second of it, so it's cool. Hey, Samantha. Hi, Life's Daily Balance. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. So the way that this works, if you've not been here before, I put these on every month. So the next one, I believe, is March 1st, if that's a Monday, whatever that first Monday in March is, at 8 p.m. So I hope to see you guys there. That's 8 p.m. EST. In the meantime, I want to jump on this one and be in the moment and be present. My name is Rachel Leah Gerson. For those of you who don't know, my company is Doorway to Self. I provide psychic education for the general public. I tend to look at the psychic world through a mental health lens and the mental health world through a psychic lens. So I blend the two. And that is why we are here today, so that you can ask any and all questions that you have about either of those worlds and how they collide. So I'm really excited to be here every single month. It's such an amazing group of people who joins. We've gotten quite a few regulars who hop on, which is just so just lights my heart. And so if you're new and you enjoy this, please feel free to come back. The way that this works is if you have a question, you can just drop it in the comment box, whether you're on Instagram or Facebook. You're going to see me looking between screens because I am on both. I'm trying to reach as many people as possible so that you guys can have access to this information. So that's what's going on. Feel free to drop a comment with a question at any point in time. I will get to it as soon as I am done answering the question before it. I have experienced some glitches on Facebook at times where it won't send me the question until after the live is done. If that's the case, I'm happy to return to your question next month. In the meantime, if you're wanting to ask anonymous questions, you can send them to my email or DM me or PM me. I will not get to those private messages until next month. And so I will also be reading some anonymous questions that have been sent in this time as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those. And then where it feels right in the flow of things, I'll go ahead and pull a card or a couple of cards for the full moon and kind of what's going on at this point in time. And then I'll do a little bit of a sound healing of some sort with using vocal techniques. So, oh, good. I'm glad you like that. That's awesome. Okay. So the first question that came in is, what are ethics for energy work as it applies to nonverbal, non-cognitive minors? I love this question. I love the fact that this person was thinking about this and is thinking about this. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, ethics are really, really huge in my book. So it tends to be a topic that gets brought up a lot, and this is not a question we've had yet. So I want to thank this person for anonymously sending this in and for having your brain in the right place with this. So as this goes, the rule is to go completely into higher self. So what I mean by that is you are no longer in ego. You're no longer in what you want or what you need or what you're craving. This is no longer about you. This is about the higher good of everyone and everything. Okay, so we have to look at this on a grand scale. So I'm going to step away from the minor thing for a moment and just think about a general scenario. And I think this is something that I've talked about before, which is this idea of, you know, let's say you have a sick parent in the hospital, they're dying, you really want to save them, right? You want them to get healthy and better. And so without their consent, you start doing energy work on them. That is completely unethical for several reasons. One, they didn't ask for it. Two, hey, Natalie, thanks for coming on. Two, it could completely affect the entirety of everything, right? If they are suffering and they're going to continue to suffer if you do the energy work on them anyways, then you might be prolonging their suffering. So that's something to bear in mind. The other thing too is that if it's not in the highest good for everyone, you know, maybe them living longer is not what's supposed to happen. Maybe they're supposed to pass on, and that's what's in the higher, greatest good for humanity. And I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive if you're really attached to this person. But if you're not, you know, if you take yourself away from that attachment and you try to see things from an above perspective as an observer, as somebody who is neutral, then it might be easier to step into that understanding in that scenario. So I want to make this information accessible to anyone in terms of this. What the answer I'm about to give is not only about non-cognitive, nonverbal minors. It's also for people on the spectrum. It's also for the elderly. It's also for literally anyone of any age who is not verbal or can't communicate in very well. in general. And it's also for people you've lost touch with as well. Okay, so people who on the physical plane you are no longer in touch with. Hey Susan, thanks for coming on. People who you are no longer physically speaking to on this plane, who you're wanting to help, or you're wanting to mend your relationship in some way. There's karmic patterning, there are cords that need to be cut, you know, whatever is going on. And if you don't know what those things are, please feel free to check out the Doorway to Self YouTube page. I've answered those questions, and there are timestamps on all of the videos with the questions listed that are being asked and answered. So if you're curious about what those two things are, please go check that out. Anyways, so, you know, if let's say you're in a fight with your best friend and you want to send healing energy to them or whatever, completely unethical unless you do this. So, let's see. So, the way you're going to do this is, like I said, remove yourself from yourself. Okay. I'm just going to turn the volume off on my computer because I just realized some things. Okay, anyways, hi Morgan, thanks for coming on. So firstly, removing yourself from the ego, right? From this place of I want, I need, I think this is best, this place of trying to control. Control comes from fear. It does not come from love. Come from a place of love. So remove yourself from the control. Get yourself into a heart space, get yourself connected to your higher self, and then you're going to ask their higher self. So connecting with yourself first, and obviously you need to know what your energy feels like before you do that. If you do not know what your energy feels like, do not do this. It's unethical. Work on yourself first, then you can work on trying to help other people, okay? Self first. So know your energy, know thy energy, right? Connect with your higher self, connect with universal source energy, and then you're going to ask to, if it's in the highest good of everyone and everything, connect to their higher self from your higher self. Okay. And this is something that I do in session as well, and in workshops. Whenever I am working with people, I always do this. I always ask, let me step out of my ego and into my higher self. And I'm trying to do this in daily life too. This isn't only about this, but you know, let me connect to my higher self. Let me connect to source universe energy, and let me, you know, if it's in their highest good, allow our higher selves to connect. So that I can give them the information, or help them do the healing, help give them the guidance that they need in order to be able to heal. So sometimes you might hit a block at that point. Maybe that person wants absolutely seriously nothing to do with you. Maybe seriously it is best for both of your highest goods that you don't connect in that way, and that you're just not, you know, maybe here's another message that I'm hearing coming through too, and it's not for the person who asked this question anonymously, but it is for somebody who's listening right now. You might be focusing too much on helping that other person. Messages don't normally come through on this thing, but someone really needs to hear this, and maybe several people, I'm getting 5 people, really need to hear this. You might be trying to do this work for them rather than allowing them to do the work and being the guide, firstly. Secondly, take a check on yourself. How much are you focusing on them rather than on yourself? And how much are you trying to help them where you need the help in that exact same place and you haven't yet healed that and worked through that for yourself by yourself, or with help of some sort that's ethical? So those are all things to keep in consideration. And like I said, this works across ages. So going specifically to this question about non-cognitive, non-verbal minors, definitely just do that same thing. Connect to your higher self, leave your ego out of it. I know it's really hard with kids, and especially young kids. You know, in this person's email, they told me this is a baby. who's just really cognitively impaired, and that's really hard to deal with because we're attached, right? This is this person's grandchild, and you're attached, and all you want to do is love them and help them, and you might be able to, but take yourself out of the equation. This is not about what you need. This is not about your fear of them developing at less cognitively high rates than other people. This is not about your fear of their survival or non-survival. This is about the greater good for everyone. So keep that in mind. Take yourself out of the equation, connect with your higher self, ask to be connected to universal source energy or God or goddess or whatever you believe in, ask to be connected to the greater whole of everything. And then if it's in that person's highest good for your higher self to connect to their higher self, ask that happens. And then you can ask their higher self, and here's the key point, are you ready to accept healing? Okay, that's question number one. Are you ready to accept healing? Is this something that you need? Is this something that would be in the highest good of everyone? And if the answer you get is yes, then there's a follow-up question. If the answer you get is no, you drop that. Okay, you drop it. It's not your monkey, not your circus. And I know it feels that way, but it's just really not. So you drop it if it's a no. If it's a yes, there's a follow-up question. The follow-up question is, am I the one you want to be guiding you through that or helping you with that? Because it might also be possible that you're not necessarily the person they want doing that for them. Okay. They might want to do that with their own guides or with another energy practitioner or with a medical Western doctor. I don't know, so also then you can ask a follow-up question to that as well. Obviously, if the answer to that is yes, go ahead and start doing whatever you feel from that experience is necessary for that child. Or if, again, the answer is no, I don't want you to be doing that, then you can ask that follow-up question of, okay, well, who would be best? And you might get, if you're clairvoyant, you might get an image of someone who might be able to help. If you're clairaudient, you might hear the answer. Clairsentient or clairempathic, you might feel the answer. Claircognizant, you might know the answer, right? So all of the answer might not come exactly in like, oh, I need to see a naturopathic doctor named Joey McSchmoey, right? It might not be that specific. It might be like a sign or a symbol. If you're not connected into the psychic world and you're looking for a physical sign, you will probably get a physical sign at some point in time as well, like maybe a business card, and you'll just maybe, again, that claircognizance, right? You might just know when you get that business card. So I really hope that this helps. And yeah, again, great question. Thank you for this. Sneaking on here didn't work. No, it does for some people. I don't know why some and some others. Having volume trouble, so need to dip out. Thank you, woman, for all you do. Aw, so glad to hear that. Okay, I'm going to check on Instagram and see what's come in. Do you identify as someone who can communicate with people who have passed? Yes, and I can't remember if I've spoken to the ethics about this on other videos, so I'll just very shortly say this. You don't want to be dragged away from your dream vacation that you've saved up for a lifetime. And I don't believe that people who have passed want that either. And so, just ethically keeping in mind, I don't offer that as a service. I never have. It's something that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But they just kind of come in the room. Or we can ask for them to do that. But, if they don't show up, they don't show up. And I just respect that. So good question. Hi, Kristen. Happy full moon to you as well, and thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, Steven. Awesome. Hey, good to see you. Susan says, hi, Rachel. How do I know when I'm making progress in my shadow work? What might that feel like? Okay, so we're going to talk about shadow work today too, because there's a lot of that with this full moon. And that's actually a question that came up on the anonymous questions as well. So for those of you who do not know what shadow work is, in a nutshell, it's basically looking at the parts of yourself that you do not like or are afraid of, or make you feel uncomfortable about yourself, or emotions that are uncomfortable, such as shame, guilt, anger, resentment, anxiety, etc. The point is that you are looking at these parts of yourself, and also where you came from, right? So maybe how you were raised, the environment in which you were raised, your parental or guardianship figures and how they raised you, your ancestry, and maybe there's some, nastiness in that lineage as well, or the many lineages that you come from. Looking at past lives and past life connections, things like that. So there's a lot to look at in terms of shadow work. You can start from the basic self, who you are in this lifetime as a human being, what traits do you like or dislike about yourself, the things that you dislike, why do you dislike them, how do they show up, what triggers them, where did these stem from, etc. Or you can go as big as, like I said, doing the ancestry work or past lives, things like that. So that's shadow work in a nutshell, is basically picking apart these things so that you can understand them. You're shining a light on the shadows. When we are walking through the darkness, shadows can't be seen, so you're shining a light on these things that you otherwise might be blind to, so that you can heal, and live a more fulfilled life as the closest version to your higher self that you can be. So anywho, how do you know that it's working? Firstly, you've turned the light on, or you've become, actually, I should say, you've become the light, or you've embodied the light that's already within you, to be able to shine a light on your shadows. As soon as you understand the shadows that are lying in front of you, or even just become aware that there are shadows, maybe even not necessarily knowing what they are, but just knowing that they're there, I would say that's already a sign that it's working. The more self-aware you become, you're just going to know. It's just going to feel, you're just going to feel more self-aware. Also, if you're feeling extremely uncomfortable and you're becoming brutally aware of that discomfort, you're probably right smack dab in the middle of some pretty big shadow work. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Okay, I'm seeing your question on Instagram. Oh, hey, Jessica, thanks for being here. I want to get to you. I want to answer these full moon questions first. And actually, I'm seeing a follow-up question to this shadow work question. So I will get to you, I promise. Okay. Follow-up question. Is it, for example, being able to journal about difficult things and then admit to myself after holding on to them for a long time, looking at these things more directly, assuming it depends on what's going on astrologically? So yeah, what's going on astrologically is definitely going to affect it. Hey, Jessica, thanks for being here. Other Jessica, like so many Jessicas. That's cool. Someone really liked that question, Susan. Thanks for asking it. So we'll definitely talk about the astrology piece of this. I want to kind of tie that into another question that somebody asked anonymously. Yeah, so definitely the astrology can affect. As I stated in the beginning of this video before many of you joined, the reason I'm like super dressed up and wearing lipstick and all of that is because I just got my chart read by AmberRose Stahl of Liquid Astrology. She's fantastic. You can find her at Mama Star Rose on Instagram. And she suggested that I wear some bold lipstick. Of course, it has to be dark because I have to keep my Scorpio self in there somewhere. But she's like, wear some bold lipstick, embrace your fire, and also Leo full moon. So yeah, I actually made this 8 years ago, pretty close to the full moon in Leo, and I don't think I've really worn it since then publicly. So that's a thing. Calling back to some younger Rachel stuff. Anyways, so yes, definitely that's going to be, there are going to be some general things that are happening, but I would suggest getting your personal chart read. And I would definitely, I mean, she's just fantastic. I just highly recommend her. But you can see where some of your personal shadow aspects are hiding in your chart as well, and that can be extremely helpful. So there's that. But yeah, journaling is a really great tool for shadow work for sure. And let's see. Yeah. Also, Kelly Ann Maddox is a really great resource. I haven't referred to her in a while on these videos, but I do a lot. She's just awesome, and she does a lot of shadow work stuff, and she has a ton of stuff on YouTube about shadow work. So she does that, and so does Bridget Nielsen, who I also refer to all the time. So those are really great resources for the shadow work stuff as well. And then also checking out some of the past Q&As from Doorway to Self from my videos as well on YouTube. So I'm going to jump to this anonymous question. Just because it's really related, and then I'll get to your question on Instagram for who asked that life's daily balance. So the anonymous question is, stuff you've been writing about the full moon has all been good stuff. Why am I feeling so bad? So for this full moon, I was tapping in a lot to kind of the brighter side of things. And I think especially because this is a super moon, what was coming in for me was so bright and so light. And the month of February, and in total just kind of feels brighter and lighter, especially after January. And so what I was, the understanding of the energy that I was getting as I was channeling the article for February, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out, link in bio on Instagram, or you can head over to doorwaytoself.com/blog. I do energy updates every single month that gives you the numerology of the month, special portal days, astrological events, full moon, new moon, a general energy overview and what to do best for that month as well. So if those are things you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter that'll pop up when you go to the blog, and follow me on social media. If you're not on Facebook and you're watching from Instagram, it's Doorway to Self on Facebook. And if you're not on Instagram and you're watching from Facebook, it's at Doorway to Self on Instagram. I also have a private page at rachel.leah.gerson that you can follow as well to see a little bit more of my personal journey as well as I'm rooting through some of this stuff. So those are all options. Anywho, yes, so the message that I was getting is that it was really important to kind of uplift people at this time. January was such a heavy month for so many people. There have been a lot of deaths in the physical world, lots of people losing people, but also a lot of deaths of relationships, deaths of parts of the self, deaths of ideals, deaths of complete perspectives. And so January was so much about killing things off, and February just has this light, like really full heart expansion energy. And so I really just was being called to write about that for this full moon. But the fact is that Leo, the sign of Leo, where this full moon currently is, does have a lot of that groundedness and ego. There's a lot about hence there's a lot about show and theatrics and performance and being bold and things like that. And that can be really, really great. And that's what I was trying to highlight, is these aspects where we can really be authentic and show up for ourselves and other people and really like be here, and be like, this is me. Whoa, yeah. And then, you know, but with that, there can also be a lot of shadow aspects that get illuminated, because when we're not used to completely embodying our full selves and then we show up, it can be like, whoa, okay, I'm too much, or I don't fit in here, or I'm too weird, or wow, this is like, who am I even? Like, what is this? So all of those things can very easily come up with heavy, heavy Leo energy, which is what we have going on right now with this Leo supermoon. So that's just something to keep in mind. With that, I'm actually going to do our card pull, because it's just a nice segue, and then I will answer that Instagram question. So I'm pulling from the Voyager Tarot Deck. This was my first deck ever. It was gifted to me when I was 12, so that's just some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so this card that I'm going to be pulling is actually, oh, yep, this is it. This card that I'm going to be pulling is actually for the shadow aspect of this moon. So what is this bringing up for us as a collective, or for you as an individual? And also I'm going to throw in there too, February has a ton of twin flame energy stuff going on. If you don't know what that is, go look at past videos. I've answered that question a couple times. But also this is, this card is also going to be looking at the shadow aspects of some twin flame stuff as well. Oh goodness. So what comes up is trust. The Six of Wands. I'll show it here. You can see it. Yeah. And that's that shadow aspect, right? It's how am I letting go? I love too that wands are associated with the fire element of fire as well. Leo is a fire sign. We have all of these flames in the card. So just super fiery energy. 6 in numerology is the number of love, of finding home, of finding hearth. So this can look like trusting yourself, right? Where do I find home in my body? Where do I find home in my spirit? How can I continue to trust my intuition and move forward? So looking individually, there's that. Looking universally, how do I trust my guides? How do I know they're going to keep me on the right path? How can I trust the people around me, the relationships around me, and maybe questioning some of that, right? Maybe these people aren't great to have in your lives. And if you've read the February article, you'll know that February is a month of what I call gentle discernment, right? So this is the time for you to be looking and seeing what's around you. Is this good for me? Is this not good for me? Is this in alignment for me as I move on my path as a human being with purpose? Is this in alignment for me? Is it not? Okay, let me discern between those two. Where can I trust and not trust in my life? If I can't trust it, is it appropriate for me to let it go? Yeah. So that's some shadow stuff. So yeah, pull this right now. No. Okay. There's that card. I'm going to pull another one for the illumination aspects, light aspects. I don't know what you want to call them. But I'm going to do that later on because I'm feeling like it's not time right now. So hope that helps you guys. All right, here's this Instagram question. I feel like my mother and grandmother are trying to communicate with me, but I am just not fully understanding the message. However, can sort of feel it. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so this is going to be actually the exact same thing that I said for that first question about the nonverbal human, working with them. It's going to be the exact same thing. Tune into your senses. You might not get an exact, especially if you're not clairaudient, if you don't have psychic hearing, you might not get an exact verbal message of what they're trying to say, right? So you might have to look around and see what are the signs around you that are showing up. You know, I had a client a while ago who her grandmother kept trying to communicate with her. And it was funny because the grandmother was trying to communicate with her because she was asking for it, right? She was like, Grandma, I miss you. I really need your help right now. Why, you know, and she was in my office. She was so frustrated. She's like, why won't my grandma come to me? And then like, as we're talking about it and later on in the session, she starts telling me about how her grandmother really loves bunny rabbits. And then I don't know, 10 minutes later, we pull a card just completely separate of this conversation, and it was a bunny. And she was like, what? That's crazy. And I was like, yeah, your grandma's here. And then she started thinking about it, and she's like, well, actually, this is nuts. I've actually been seeing rabbits everywhere. And they've been kind of like in places that have been associated with the way that I'm supposed to go. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's your grandma. Congratulations. So we just have to keep looking around, you know, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. Hey, Lee, thanks for being here. Hi, Chad. Hey, Emily. Thanks for being here, everyone. Oh, Lee, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Okay, Morgan says, I'm looking to learn and study more about astrology. Where do you recommend I start a book, etc.? So actually, I'm just like shamelessly plugging Amber right now. I don't think she even knows I'm doing this live. So she actually has a free astrology course coming up pretty soon here. I believe I can't remember exactly when it is. Yeah, definitely check out her website, again, at Star Mama Rose on Instagram, and her website is linked there. And then I believe her website is liquidastrology.com, I think. I'm not positive about that, but yeah, she has a free astrology course coming up. I have no doubt that's going to be amazing. I've heard that Chani Nicholas has some amazing resources as well, that are, you do have to pay for them, but they're really, really reasonable. I think they're like $40 or something like that for a full course. So there's that. Cafeastrology.com has some really great concrete stuff that you can look at. It's like there, right? So you can look at, let's say you're curious about, you know, what is Lilith, and you can go check that out, and just type in Lilith or look on the side of one of the tabs, and it'll be there for you to learn about. All of the sides are there, everything. What else? AstroStyle.com, I think that's what it is. I know the name sounds a little kind of kitschy, but they have some really great information on there as well, especially about the houses. And the last resource I'm going to give you is foreverconscious.com. Tanaaz is just lovely, lovely, lovely woman. And she does weekly astrology updates on YouTube. They're like 7-minute videos, which are great. And she also does monthly articles, or not monthly, I think weekly articles as well, maybe even more frequent than that. So her Instagram is really good as well, at Forever Conscious. So those are all, those are all really good resources. Hey, Natalie. Okay, cool. Well, it looks like we don't have any more questions at the moment. So I'm going to take one more live question today. In the meantime, I'm going to answer this last question that came in anonymously. And then I will pull a card for the full moon and do the sound healing, or vice versa, whichever feels right to come first. So if you have another question, now is your time to ask, and I will get to it as soon as I'm done answering this other one. Okay. Okay, this one's really intense. How do I know if the dream that I had was a real experience, a psychic experience, or just processing normal daily life? I had a really intensive dream about an accident that my friend had, and I woke up at 3 a.m., the exact time of the accident, and for the entire day I would stop in my tracks, just a complete emotional wreck, when I'd get flashes of the dream and how real it felt. So stick with me here, because this is going to be more avant-garde of an answer than you guys are even normally used to. So I'm going to start basic. there are 3 different ways that we can experience psychic abilities. So there are all the clairs. If you don't know what clairs are, doorwaytoself.com/blog. I explain all of them. I have an article for every single one of them. But basically, it's all of the different senses through which you can experience psychic phenomena. So with all of the clairs, there are 3 different ways that you can experience psychic information. The first is post-cognitively, okay? Which for this person, and I give them a lot of credit because actually in their original email, they did say this might be a post-cognitive dream. I'm not sure. And I was like, whoa, lady knows her terms. This is cool. So post-cognitive means that you've experienced it after the event has happened. Okay, you go to sleep and you have a dream that your best friend's mom got fired from her job. Okay, and you wake up and you call your best friend and you're like, hey, I had this weird dream. And your best friend is like, oh, well, my mom got fired from her job like 3 weeks ago. So that's real weird because I never told you about that. Okay, this person had 0 indication that the best friend's mom was going to quit. I don't know why I use such a complex person example, but you guys get the idea. You know, 0 idea and it's after the fact. Okay, so that's that would be 1. 2 would be cognitive. Okay, so cognitively means that you are experiencing the psychic information in the moment that it's happening or very, very close to the moment that it's happening. The different, oh no, why did Instagram just quit? Oh no, bear with me, Facebook. Oh goodness. Okay, hi Instagram. I'm really sorry about that. Something really strange just happened and the app just completely quit out, so I apologize. I do hope that you rejoin me. I'm sorry about that. If you missed anything, you can catch obviously the replay of this on Instagram on my story, or you can catch it on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so jumping back in. So cognitive psychic experiences are when you are getting the information as it happens. So let's say, using the dream example again, since we're talking about dreams, you are having a dream that best friend's mom gets fired, and next morning you call best friend and she's like, oh, that's so weird. My mom got an email late last night. You know, so right when the event happened, you got the information in your dream. The third way is precognitively. So that would be, oh, this is so weird. You know, I had a dream that your mom was going to get fired from her job, and your best friend's like, wow, that's really strange. And then like 2 months later, the mom gets fired, and it's the exact same scenario you had a dream about, and your best friend is like, wow, that's really weird. So those are the 3 ways. And again, it doesn't only have to be dreaming, right? You could get a smell of something or an image of something or hear something, you know, whatever it is. Post-cognitive, cognitive, precognitive. Post-cognitive after the event has happened, cognitive during the event, precognitive before the event has happened. So those are your 3. Hey Kim, thanks for being here. So with this person's dream, her friend's accident had already occurred, so it would be post-cognitive, okay? So there's that. Here is, hi Heidi, hey Alex, thanks for being here. Here is, that's weird, I just called you Alex. I don't think I've ever called you Alex before. All right. So here's where it gets real strange, okay? This is the part I'm telling you guys to hang on with me for, and this might be why Instagram cut out. I think maybe there were some people on there who weren't quite ready for this one. Time doesn't exist. Time is a human invention, human experience. It is a 3rd-dimensional experience. 3rd dimension meaning we are 3D, we are here in the physical. Time is a physical thing. We invented it. So when we're dreaming, since we're not in the physical, since we're not in the 3D, we do have the capacity and ability to leave our physical bodies, also known as astral travel. And we do have the ability to move to different times and spaces. If this is too much for you to handle right now, I totally get it. I know it's a lot. Basically, from the way that this person was describing the dream, I mean, she was really, really immersed in this scene. I mean, she saw everything, and it was details that no one knew. Not even her best friend, because she had a concussion, blacked out, and never had the experience. So this is, or never remembered the experience, excuse me. So, you know, it was just so vivid, and she was so chilled, and she kept saying that she kept like trying to help her friend, but couldn't, which is often an experience that happens with astral travel, where we're trying to physically change things or grab hold of things, and we can't. She kept shouting in the dream, and then that's when things, you know, the other person involved stopped what they were doing. So she did have some influence. So what I told this person, because I wanted to be more specific, so I did actually respond to her email, but I did say that I would get more in depth verbally here as well. But what I'm understanding from her experience is actually, so technically this is a post-cognitive dream, because it did happen in the physical after, or the dream took place in the physical after the physical event had already taken place. So it would be considered a post-cognitive dream. But from the way that she described it and her experience of it, I actually believe that she astral traveled to that event as it was happening, because all time and space is occurring at the exact same time. All events ever in the existence of history are happening at the exact same time. So she was able to go through that time loop to that exact event, and she was able to be there to bear witness to it, and to help in some way, right? Because she shouted and the person stopped. So that's really rare. That's not something that I hear about often, at all, actually. This is only like the second or third time I've heard about anybody doing that. It's extremely rare. So I just wanted to speak to that, because it's just really quite interesting. So that is that. That's what's going on. Hey, Taryn, thanks for being here. Okay. So with that, I know I hopped on a couple minutes late today, which is not usual, but I will go a couple minutes late because of that. I am feeling called to pull our full moon card, which comes for the light of this full moon, comes from the moon deck, which is this beautiful thing. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this before, it's really amazing. Love this deck. Okay, like 6 cards just fell out. Oh goodness. So I'm not going to read all of these. It knows that. Here's one. So again, this card is for, hold on. Okay. This card is going to be, I just wanted a muscle test to see, make sure that it's only one card. This card is, again, just as the shadow card was. So where is the light right now with this full moon? What's being pulled up? What's being illuminated? Where are you connecting with your higher self? Where are you aligning? So this is for you as an individual. This is also where you're fitting in with the universe, right? What's happening collectively with this universal energy? And then also, again, for those of you in twin flame dynamics, what's going on there? Especially if you're in separation, you know, you might want this card. Let's see. Okay, this is literally exactly what I said, like not 20 minutes ago. I am at home in my body and at peace in my spirit. Actually, this is what I said for the shadow card. Is it not? I was like, trust, like, and the 6 number, and I was like, where are you not trusting being in your body? Where are you not trusting being in your spirit? So here's the light aspect to this, is that through going through this shadow work that comes with this full moon, you're going to become more secure in this, right? You're going to feel more at home in yourself, feel more at peace in your body and at home in your spirit. At home in your body and at peace in your spirit. I think it goes both ways. So there's that. But also, sticking that shadow card away as well, I think this just is coming with this full moon in general, right? This is this moment, and if you read the post that I put out about this full moon, here, I'll show you. I don't think you got a good view of this. Instagram. Here you go. Here, Facebook. At home in my body and at peace in my spirit. So those of you who saw the post, it was about embracing your weirdness, right? And if you've worked with me before, likelihood is that you know that the word weird is my favorite word in the English language because it comes from Old English. Weird, W-Y-R-D, and it means web or pool of fate. So you're embracing your fate, you're embracing your alignment, you're embracing your fated, weird self. It's really awesome. So there is that, which is exciting. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our sound healing. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. Okay. And actually, yeah, okay. Nope. Okay, we're gonna jump into the sound healing. Go ahead and get comfortable. You can lay down or sit. Please note, if you do decide to keep your eyes open during this time and you're looking at the screen, my eyes do weird things while I'm doing this. So just bear that in mind. But I do recommend that you close your eyes if possible. I'm setting the intention that this sound healing is going to help activate your connection to your higher self and the ability to fully embody it in the physical. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and letting it go through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose and letting it go through the mouth. One last deep breath in through the nose and letting it go through the mouth as we come into the time and space of your you-ness, of your weird. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and letting it go through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose, holding it at the top, letting it go through the mouth. One last deep breath in through the nose, and as you let it go, maybe let out a nice little growl. Slowly wiggling fingers and toes, and at your own time and pace, opening your eyes and finding yourself back in this time and space, integrating all that you've learned into your daily lives.
if you enjoyed that sound healing and this is something that you want to experience more of, I will be doing it at the 2/2/2/2020 workshop that I'm hosting at Luminosity Community on 2/2/2/2020. So that is a Sunday, about 2 weeks from now. So I would really love to see you there. It's only open to 11 people, and I believe 5 tickets have sold already. So, you know, if you want a space, grab it. I would love to have you there. You can find more information if you're on Instagram, link in my bio for more info and tickets. And if you're on Facebook, if you just head over to the events section of the Doorway to Self page, you'll find the info and ticket link there as well. Truly hope to see you there. We're going to be working on balance and centering, finding your center, finding your power, maybe doing some purpose work as well. That's been coming in too. So really hope to see you guys there. 12 to 3 p.m. at Luminosity Community in Cascade, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Cascade, same thing. Not really, but kind of. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good. This is an event that it's pretty rare. I'm usually asked by Spirit, Universe, Collective, Energy, whatever you want to call it. I'm usually asked to do events kind of the month of or maybe the month before, and this is an event that I have been asked to do since November. So that's a pretty big deal. It's pretty different. And I'm actually missing out on an event that I normally go to and normally teach at called Convocation in Dearborn, which I also highly recommend if my event is not calling to you. But I'm missing out on that for the first time in like 6 or 7 years to do this. So this is a really big deal. I just can't wait to see you guys there if it calls to you. So again, if you're on Facebook event page on Doorway to Self, you'll find the info. And on Instagram, you'll find the link in my bio. So that's it. And that is actually the only way that you can work with me from now on until another future event is posted as well. So if you've been wanting to work with me, that's how you can do it. Hi, Daniela. Hey, Janae. Karina. Hi. Beautiful as always. My dog heard you and started singing along. I love that, Taryn. Thanks for sharing that. And Michelle says, really amazing. Thank you. I wish I could go into your class, but I'm going to Convo. Well, good. I'm glad you're going to Convo, and maybe we can trade notes. I'll tell you what happened in my class if you tell me what happened at yours. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me, guys. I do want to give you one more opportunity right now, just because this is Leo full moon and a metalhead, to take this opportunity to just like growl together. Let's just embrace this Leo energy and just do it. Just let it out. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. And then we're going to do that one more time. Deep breath in through the nose. And when we let it out, make sure you're coming from your diaphragm. Facebook, you can't see me. It's this area right here. Solar plexus, for those of you who are familiar with chakras. That space right in between your rib cage. You're going to press it out through there, maybe even lower on your abdomen if you can do that. Just be careful of your voice. Okay. I don't want you like screaming or anything. Just feel it low and guttural, right? Feel all of your fire. Feel all of your fire being stoked. Feel yourself, feel your energy, and you're going to show the world this energy right now. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in through the nose and letting it out. Roar! Who did it with me? I want to see thumbs or hearts or something. Who did it with me? Oh my gosh, this Facebook lag right now is killing me. I'm
like, I'm the only one who did it. Okay, do we need to try it again? Oh, no. Now they're coming in. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, let's do it one more time. One more time. Okay. Deep breath in through the nose. Letting it go and clearing it. Another deep breath in through the nose, preparing to growl. I want to see these lime palms up. Yeah! Who did it with me? Hey, Trisha. Yeah. Again, that lag just killing me. That's so funny. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull one more card for you guys. That's so funny. It's literally like a 10-second lag and all of you just like... Well, thank you so much for doing it with me. Really appreciate that. I hope you had some solace in that. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's actually been one of the most instrumental healing tools of my personal practice, is just being able to like do that. It's awesome. Okay, these two just fell out of the deck. So this is the message that's coming with that growl from you. So moving forward from this full moon, what do you need to know, taking with you to continue to step into yourself, right? Just because this is the Leo full moon right now doesn't mean you can't continue to be in alignment. That's why astrological events happen, to spur things on, okay? I want to make that really clear. Because I think a lot of the time we look at astrology and we're like, oh, okay, this event is happening right now, so I should act this way, or I should do this thing, or I should be this way. But astrology is goading us on. It's helping us. It's scaffolding us, just like any of the other energies that are happening. So use this Leo full moon energy to scaffold yourself, okay? This is a tool. This moon is a tool to continue to embody your full, weird, awesome self moving forward. That's what this is. So here's how you can do that. Guys, I am on the right path and divinely guided. I am on the right path and divinely guided. That's one. And two, oh, this is a good one. Healthy boundaries keep me centered and balanced. Healthy boundaries keep me centered and balanced. Okay, remember that gentle discernment, right? Is this working for me? Is this not? Where do I need to put some more boundaries in this place so that I can be more in alignment on my path, more at home in my body and my spirit, more in line with the divine? Yeah? And that shadow, trust. Fall into it, lean into it. Lean into your fire, lean into your passion, lean into your trust, and lean into the home within yourself. Yeah. This is it. This is it. It's your time. Okay. I'm just going to do a repeat of this real quick. For those of you who aren't following me on Instagram, who are watching from Facebook, you can check me out on Instagram at Doorway to Self or at rachel.leah.gerson. For those of you on Instagram watching from Doorway to Self, check me out on at rachel.leah.gerson if you want to follow my personal story, or on Facebook, Doorway to Self. And you can find the info for the event and the ticket link for the 2/2/2/2020 portal event at Luminosity Community in Grand Rapids in my bio on Instagram or in the events section on the Facebook page. Those are all things you can do. If you're still confused by what's going on this February and with the energy and all of that, please be sure to go to doorwaytoself.com/blog. You will find the February energy articles. That is there for you as well. Please be sure to hit subscribe to my email list as well while you're on the website so that you can get those articles directly to your inbox. I don't spam. Literally the only time that I email people is to let people know about what events or articles are here and coming. So it's not about like no. I don't even like sell stuff, guys. Which brings me to as well, all of these events are free in terms of the live Q&As that I do here every month. Next month's is March 1st or whatever that first Monday is of March at 8 p.m. So be sure to be on here. They are free. I do take time out of my life to do this. And if you want to support me in that, you can hit up donorbox.org/doorway to self. You can find that information on my website as well, doorwaytoself.com. So think that's all the information you guys need. Happy, happy, happy full moon. Love you guys. I really love this community that we've built together. As always, if you have any anonymous questions that have kind of been triggered by this session, please feel free to email me and we will go through it in March at the next Q&A. So I look so deeply forward to seeing you guys there at that time. And I'm sending you love. Keep being weird. Over and out.